Tommy, how do you feel your squad's coming together then as the season is upon us now? What, just 24 hours to go for you guys?
Yeah, I mean it's been a lot of hard work. We released a lot of players. It offers to some that obviously refused and moved on, and it's been a rebuild, which I think we've done. The amount of work that we've done, in a short space of time. So the squad's looking good, and we're looking forward to the start of a new season.
Is that the old adage when you get a new group of players together, is to get them gelling as quickly as you want them to gel?
Well, I think when you have to, and I've said previously, when you have to bring that many in, it's important to get them in as quickly as possible, and particularly with a first competitive game being so early. So we've done that. We've one or two more to get in, and we had a good week in Northern Ireland, so that was important. It meant that the group got to know each other. Not only on the pitch, but we were able to get a lot of good work done on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And they've mixed in well, and they're a good group, and they're looking forward to get playing competitive football again.
How do you assess this competition, Tommy, and what do you hope to achieve out of it?
Want to go as far as we can. I mean, I see some people mention that it's that the clubs use it as an extension to their pre-season. I think when there's a trophy up for grabs, you've got to take it seriously, and that's what we'll do. We want to win the group. We want to get out of the group, and then we want to get into the knockout stages. So it's not a competition where we're taking it lightly. We've worked extremely hard in pre-season, and we've tailored our work this week to obviously more specific stuff to deal with East Kilbride.
You mentioned the numbers there, Tommy. Are you still actively, obviously, looking in the forward areas? Did you say the last time, was it?
Yeah, we're looking. I probably need to bring two more in, and one a striker, and that'll. We've had a few near misses with one or two strikers. We've missed out for various reasons, but the window's still open for another 6 weeks. Ideally, you would want one in now, but if that doesn't happen, we just have to be patient and make sure we get the right one.
Final question for me, Tommy. Obviously, as the country opens up more and more, is there any apprehension to kind of COVID being struck in any way, shape or form? We just don't know, you know what I mean?
Well, you don't know. I mean, the one thing is we've stuck to everything that we're supposed to do in terms of all our social distancing, masks in and around the ground when they're not out in the pitch, and everything's done. So the clubs, I believe, are doing everything they can. I think they need a wee bit of help because obviously of the Ross County incident this week, because I know there's talk that if you were to lateral throw negative, even though you might have been in close contact with somebody, that might be looked at, and that would certainly help, because to just have a blanket, listen, health's the most important thing, but to just have a blanket shutdown, I think the clubs probably need a wee bit more support and a bit more understanding, because I do know that they're doing everything that they can. I mean, our players have been, I think the majority have had their first injection. We've encouraged that actively, and I say they've been doing everything that they can, but they've got families, their partners or partners are at work, kids are at school, so I think there has to be a level of understanding, or you end up, you're going to have games cancelled left, right, and centre.
Tommy, just to be clarified, when you say a bit more support, are you talking about from the government when it comes to you saying if there's a negative lateral?
Well, what I'm talking about, I mean, a bit more understanding. I mean, if like at the minute, if somebody's in the close proximity of someone and they've tested positive and they're negative, they still have to self-isolate. So that's all. It's not financial support. It's just maybe a slight adjustment of the regulations that we're having to follow. I think that probably comes from the league.
Obviously, you've alluded to the fact that there's been lots of changes, Tommy, but how much did it mean to you in terms of the players that stuck by the club?
Yeah, well, I did. There was only Chris that was out of contract. That basically, the rest that were made offers. Millen, Waters, or not Waters. Who was it? Kelly. Ian blanked. They were all made offers, and say Burkie was only one. But listen, it doesn't bother me. If they want to move on, they move on. But I'm pleased that Burkie re-signed. He's someone who has had a great season, even though we're relegated. Someone who's still at the top of his game, and he'll be a big help to the two young wingers that we signed in Murray and Armstrong.
And I guess as well, now you've got that sort of nice blend of youth and experience, but how important was it for you to get the boys with the right attitude with regards to how competitive the Championship's going to be next season, and not just that, but experience actually playing at that level as well?
Well, I think if you look at what we've signed players that have either been involved in promotions and played in Scotland, or been involved in promotions down in England. And we've went for a blend of experience and young players, and ones that really had a good attitude. And to be fair, of all the ones that we've signed recently, the fact that we were in the Championship was never mentioned. They wanted to come to the club. They know how big a club it is, and they see hopefully that it's the start of something good here.
And just finally from me, I think it was Daniel Armstrong said that, everyone in the Championship is going to treat playing Kilmarnock like, the big game in the league. How much can you use that to your advantage? Or does that sort of mentality suit, obviously, that expectation that you will go straight back up next season? Well,
I mean, we're not taking anything for granted. We'll very much have our feet firmly, planted. If you look at historically what's happened in this league, it is difficult to bounce back straight away. That's our aim. That's what we're trying to build a squad to do. But we will never underestimate any opposition. If they want to put a target in our back, that's for them to worry about. We'll just take each game as it comes. And I know that sounds boring, but that's all we're going to do. That's all we can do. And if you look, clubs like Rangers, Hearts, Hibs, Dundee, took a while to get back up, and it's not a guarantee, and we know it's not a guarantee. So we'll treat the Championship with the utmost respect. There's a lot of good teams in it. We probably will be the bookies' favourites, but if you look at Hamilton haven't lost too many of their squad. Inverness have good experience and good manager in Billy Dodds and know the league. You could argue they know the league better than us. So we're ready for a tough campaign, and but it's also one that we're going in, to try and finish top of the tree.
Tommy, we were just speaking to Innes Cameron there, and this season ahead, is this a good opportunity to sort of lay down the challenge to these younger players coming through the youth academy to get into the first team and make their mark where possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been the case. The perception is that I've never given young players a chance. Well, that's totally wrong. If you look at the St Johnstone side, the majority of that side were signed by me, give their debuts, given professional contracts. So I'll have the same mantra with them as I did at St Johnstone. If they're good enough, they'll play, and they know that. And but it won't be a blanket case of he's 17, he has to be in the team. If he's good enough for 17, he'll be in the team, and they'll get their opportunities. It's a long season. We took 5 or 6 away to Northern Ireland with us. We're ranging from 16 to 19-year-olds. So there will be opportunities. We have a few niggles tomorrow, so there's a few of them will be involved tomorrow on the bench, and so it's up to the young players. Certainly the platform and the pathway will be there for them. It'll be up to them whether they take it or not. And listen, we're going to work with them and help them and make sure that we can give them every support and everything that they need to develop. And but no, that hasn't changed. I'm hoping, at the end of the season, if we get promotion, that we're able to look back and say, well, we've introduced 3 young players and that played regularly for us as well. But I say it'll certainly it'll be up to the players as individuals to make sure they go out and do their best.
You've obviously handed Chris Stokes the armband this season. What was it you saw in him that you thought he would be a good leader for the side?
Well, he's been a captain before. I know him. I tried to sign him at St Johnstone twice, I think. He does talk. You can see when you watch him when he plays, he talks, he gives instructions. And he's also a very good player. So, a captain as well, there's this perception the captain has to be a shouter and a baller, but he doesn't really. He has to. Dave Mackay was, probably the best captain I had, and Dave said very little on the pitch, but he led by example in terms of the level of his performances. So I thought Chris was an ideal, candidate for the job, and he's a good age. He's had loads of experience. And I can see already, he's talking to the younger players, during and after training, and helping them as well. So let's hope. We missed out on promotion with Forest Green last year. Let's hope we can bring him a bit of luck and we can get a promotion for him this year.
And just finally from me, East Kilbride, obviously the type of team that nobody can underestimate, might be in the Lowland League, but they've obviously spent a good bit of money, brought in quite a few experienced players too.
Yeah, they've you look at their squad sometimes, it's a who's who of Scottish football. They're a good club. They have got a bit of money in that league, and they can attract, players. Chris Miller's gone, Lee Miller. So they've got, Wiles there as well. They've got a number of players who have played at the highest level. And listen, even without those players in the team, there's no way we're going there to underestimate them. We know it's going to be a tough game, and first game of the season. It can go either way, but we're going there to try and get 3 points and get the Betfred off to a good start.